I was wrong, and I don't understand truly. Firstly, but now I understand you.
Okay, good.
Okay, and
Jury.
I can say something.
Okay.
Or, uh, work balance. I think every person for every person is very important thing, and I think the people who live in the world uh, don't born only working. I think people can do everything what he wants or what he likes. Uh, and totally, I am in thinking actually about this, and uh, I can say for my working balance, yeah, I have I have working in working balance because of I have no limited for working time about, and maybe it's maybe um, it is only for working such a is especially who working in inspector because sometimes I wonder about anything, uh, and I worked out about investigated it, and I have no limited times about daily,
Right.
and
Yeah. You're very busy.
and I needn't go at 6 o'clock, and I needn't come from at 5 o'clock. Maybe it depends on uh, it maybe it depends on,
Right.
but uh, uh, jury now I can only this.
Okay, good. Thank you, Rashid. Yeah, how about you, Bilal? How is your work-life balance?
Jury, as when you first asked to me this question, just I understand work. Yeah, you know, totally as a work life. Yeah, the life of work.
Ah, okay.
But the balance between work balance, I mean between the life and work. Sure, this is the work. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
you have a work. Yeah, you know, the time you spend for the work, and then the time for your leave. Yeah, you know, you left the other things. So this really must be in a balance. Yeah, you know, this can be also in the for the money way. Yeah, I mean, for the pay way, and then for also the time. Also, the time must be. You must have enough time for life, and you must earn enough money for to do these things. And then the balance between the work and then the life, and for the you know, for the money, these three things must be in a balance, so you can do all these things. And as we are working for a company, and then for a government company, and this government company, they work a week in a week, and they don't we don't have to work on a weekend, so we have time actually for doing some social activity in the weekend, and also after the 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 5 or 6, because we work in between the 8 p.m. a.m. and then 5 p.m. So after this time, we can do something. So the time for the social activity is enough for us. Just we have some problem with the pay. You know, the pay for the government really is not so much, so you can do whatever you do, some saving or like that for doing some in a good holiday, you know, spend money in a holiday, or doing some activities, maybe not so, because you need also to spend for the education of your kids or like that. So the for the way of the paying is maybe not so good, but for the time we have enough time doing this thing. But totally, when we look our work, we have a good balance compared with the some, you know, some other parts of the working class.
Right.
We have a good balance.
Okay, good. So you have a good balance. You're happy. That's great.
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy. Really. No, not so bad.
Good. Okay. So every year they come out with a list of the happiest countries in the world. They say which countries are happiest, and I think it's close to this. Usually the countries, if you can make more money and not work as much, you're going to be happier. How do you think Turkey rates? How is the happiness of Turkey in the world? How about Yildiray? What do you think? Is it very high or very low or in the middle?
I think Turkey is in the middle of the list because the life is very hard, very bad in Turkey. So life is very expensive, and so people have to work much by day by. For example, we think last 10 years only the man works in the family, but now husband and wife, boy and girl work at the same time in family. So they have a lot of time for social time, entertainment, or walking all day. So I think in Turkey people don't happy. Only Sinop, Black Sea, the area,
Sinop.
the city. Yes, the search maps show that people who live in Sinop is the happiest in Turkey.
Oh,
I know.
okay, interesting. Very good. Thank you, Yildiray. And you've said some interesting things. I'm going to talk a bit more about later. First, actually, Yildiray, let me ask you, which country or which is a country you think has the highest level of happiness? What do you think is one of the highest ones in the world?
Maybe New Zealand or Australia. I think people happiest.
Okay.
So their economical is good. I think.
Great, awesome. And what about the lowest? What's the worst?
Maybe China, because very crowded country, I think
Awesome. Good. Thank you, Yildiray. Very good. Hassan, how are you? Nice to see you.
Thank you. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Thank you. How about you, Hassan? How do you think the level of happiness in Turkey compares to other countries? Are people in Turkey very happy or in the middle? Less happy?
Middle. Middle. We are high level happy. I am high level happy, but Turkish people, middle level.
Okay. Why?
Maybe there are with economic situation and happy level. So Turkish economic situation is middle level.
Okay. Very good. What do you think is the highest level country?
Iceland and England, maybe.
Oh, Iceland. Cool. Okay. Interesting. What about at the bottom? What's the lowest? Least happy?
Afghanistan.
Okay. Why?
There is always war in Afghanistan.
Okay, lots of war. Good, exactly. Thank you. Hurshit, what do you think? What do you think is the happiness level of Turkey?
I think it depends on where Turkey is compared with. And for example, if Turkey is compared with Middle East countries, Turkey is good condition, and Turkish people, I think, more happy than Middle East countries. But if we think about with European countries, I think it is not true for Turkey. And but I love my country, and I have more opportunity for other country. But Turkey don't use our opportunity, and if we do it, I think we will be more happy than other country. But we don't do it. We don't do it.
Okay, good. Thank you, Hurshit.
And if I compared, I have thinking this. Turkish people. I think happy people.
Happy
And it depends on where you live. Some part of is good condition for their culture, their revenue, their opportunity. But in Turkey, there aren't there haven't got so good condition for some part of country.
Right. Very good. Thank you, Hurshit. And we need to think about regional minimum wage too.
Regional, yeah. Maybe I want you to help for you. Maybe some topics. Maybe you, maybe you can do for me some information.
Yeah, no problem.
I have only I have only some information, and I think you can answer to me
Okay,
about Canadian department and government.
okay, no problem. I can, if you have some quick questions, I can answer them on the break time if you want.
Maybe if you accept it, for me, I think this is the true time.
Okay,
Okay.
good. And Harshit, what do you think is the happiest country and the least happy country?
Happiest country. I always wonder about Nordic countries because the Nordic, I think, always happy people, and we know that from news, films, always tell us Nordic people is good contagion, and they live very happy.
Very good. Thank you, Harshit. And Bilal, what do you think? How does Turkey compare to other countries? Happiness.
Each list the life standard. Each country have a higher life standard and lower life standard. Yeah, you know, and then the happiness, the level of the happiness. And I think Turkey generally become in the middle of this list. Yeah, like a 60 or 70 or like that. And that means is 70 country is happier than us. And I think this is the happiness of the life is related with the the money you earn for the individual, each person, and then the education that you can reach, and the hospital, the health care you can reach, and then the technology that you can reach, and the energy you can consume, or like that. All these things make affect this list. And then Turkey, as we know, this list is there are 60 or 70 countries happier than Turkey in this list. And when really we check for our life also in Turkey also is really there are many countries that their conditions are better than we are now, because when we for annual earning of their for them that about 4 times better than us and this country, and this country is include this Scandinavian country, and then the European country, and some Far East Asian country or like that. This, and also New Zealand and Australia. This country really their life is better, and they also the people there earn much more money than Turkey, and then they can reach the education, the healthcare, and then technology, and also the mentioned before, just before, about the work-life balance. Also, they have a good work-life balance because they don't have to much work for as a time. Turkey, as we conclude, we can say Turkey in the middle of this list, and then it's just this. We have 70 or 60 or 70 country better than us.
Okay,
Mhm.
awesome. Very good answer. Very good. Thank you, Bilal. So what country do you think is up at the top, and what country or countries do you think are at the bottom?
This you know, I just thought the Scandinavian country, they are the happier, the people who live in these countries, the happier people in the world. The Scandinavian country like Finland and Norway, and then this country, I think, and also they say also is in a good condition. The people that is happy. That one is the top. This country, I can say, must be on the top.
Okay, and what about the bottom?
The bottom is the African country, and then is the Middle East, some Middle East countries, and not this the rich, some rich Arab countries. If you except this country, apart this country, the Middle East countries, some Arab countries, and then the African country, and then as the some friends says also the Afghanistan or Bangladesh or like that also this must be the bottom level.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Bilal. Yeah, I think it's interesting because Hurshit, Hassan, and Bilal. Hassan, you said Iceland. Hurshit, you said the Nordic countries, which are also the same as Bilal saying, Scandinavian countries. You're talking about the same countries, yes? And even Iceland, they can consider Iceland to be part of this too, I think. So you guys are almost all agreeing with the same thing. And these are the countries that usually are at the top of the list they make when they measure this. So Yildiray said Australia and New Zealand, which I think is interesting because I think maybe when Yildiray thinks about it, you'd be happier if the temperature is nicer too, right? You pick New Zealand and Australia, it's much nicer than the temperature in Norway and Sweden, right?
Yeah.
So maybe temperature is, at least maybe when Yildiray thinks about it, temperature is something important for happiness too. So what are some other things in a country that could make it a happier country or a less happy country? What else is something that can decide how happy people are going to be, just besides how much money they have? Okay, not just how much money you have. What else can make a country happier or less happy? And Bilal was talking about this as well. I'll ask you, Yildiray, what do you think? What are some other things that we should think about?
I think not economic problem, only for happiest. So people in Turkey know to happy only small things last time, but now people have new apartments, new car, mobile phone, but they can't happy. So they want to have much more and a new model. So they can't happy. I think.
Okay. This is we had this idiom a few classes ago, keeping up with the Joneses. And I think this is a bit like what Yildiray is saying. Oh, there's always the new iPhone. You know, I have the iPhone 7, but now there's the iPhone 8. I need to get the new one, and I don't have enough money, and it's so difficult, and I'm fighting to get newer and newer things. Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. Thank you, Yildiray. How about Hurshit? What do you think are some other things besides money, some different things that are important for how happy or unhappy a country is?
Yeah. I think truly it depends on country's development. It is most development or more development or developing country. Development country is different, and developing country is different thing. I think I tell about Nordic people because of we know that for example Sweden don't participate in European and why do why do Sweden do such these things? Uh, if we think maybe Sweden in Europe, but Sweden don't participate in European for social and for economical. I think this is because of Sweden's development country. I truly think in it, and Sweden people, I think, told that before if they participate in European countries, they think that their national income maybe could decrease, and for thus they don't participate European country or Europe. And for your asking, I can say this. I think if a people is happy, I think it depends on how many people earn or how many and sorry, and depends on truly their income and especially per capita income and maybe the number of doctor per capita, I think, and actually I have a idea, but I don't explain very well, I think, but especially if the country sorry, I can only tell about this.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Rishit. Maybe I can give an example. We know that money is very important. How happy a country is, how much money do the people have, and also, well, another thing. Okay, here's another example. What makes a country happier? How different is it? Are there only a small number of people with lots of money and many poor people, or are there? Is everybody closer to the middle? Great, that can control how happy people are. The separation of wealth. Okay, if there's like 5% very, very rich people and 95% very poor people, that makes them less happy. Or for example, something like disease. You know, many countries in Africa, Bilal was saying Africa, one of their biggest problems is diseases like HIV disease and things. So diseases, that could be another thing. How healthy are people? Things like this, other things that can control how happy or how unhappy a country would be. This is my question. So I'll ask Hassan next. Hassan, is there anything you can think of that's important for happiness?
Cannot be happy with money. An example, lottery winners you don't aren't happy usually in Turkey. Relative can be more happy people. If I have more relative, maybe I have more happy.
Okay, you have more family, you're happier. Good. I like that.
If I have large family, maybe I more happy. So Chinese people maybe I don't know, maybe can be less happy because single child politics.
Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. Thank you, Hassan. I like Hassan's example. You said more family, you're more happy. That's very good. Very different than money too. Awesome. How about Bilal? You actually gave us some good examples the last time I asked you, I think.
Yeah, as Hassan says, yeah. Also, this is another view. You can look. Really, when we think about our life, when we are living in a village, yeah, you know, the people don't have enough money. Really, they don't have for education chance or like that. Even they couldn't go to the hospital or like that. They couldn't reach the health cares. But still, the people were happy. Yeah, you know, because they live together, and yeah, you know, they talk together or like that. So this activity made the people happy. But really, when we look about one country as for the whole for a society, it changed. So yeah, you know, local for a family, for like the happiness, maybe you can assess like that. But for as a whole country, you cannot say. For a whole country, you must look, as you said, for the benefit of this country, for yeah, you know, the per capita of the country, how you divide this between the as a small group, and what's different between a small group and this is the large group. What's different between these two, and how can you reach the education? Yeah, you know, your children can have a education chance, and also this opportunity is available for everyone, every people, and also the health also is important. Also another thing is what is the crime rate in your country? If you have a crime rate, is a high rate or a low rate? And then the one thing is also you can assess the happiness, and then the life standard, if it's high or low. Life expectancy, yeah, you know, the people, for example, the people of Europe, the life expectancy is about 18 years, and the average life expectancy is 18 years. But the people of Africa is about 45 or 50, like that. Maybe now is maybe higher. But also you have to look distance. If you have this standards as a whole, so your country is rich, and then your people is happy. Like a nomadic people also can be happy, even they don't have any house or like that, but they can be happiness. But as a whole country, you need reach this level. to be happy country or to be also powerful country.
Okay, awesome. Very good. Thank you, Bilal.
I should I should talk some story. Jury.
Okay.
Can I talk?
Okay.
I think the happiness don't depend on only earning or national income or income. I think we know that in the world, the people day and day don't be happy, and this is bad for ours. And we know that about news, television, and maybe you know, and maybe my friend know, and I think in capitalism or in capitalist system, we always compete with ourselves for earning much money or have got for a good building, good car, good anything, and we always want everything. And if we compete with ourselves, I think the people in the world won't be happy for the next future. And we know that day and day, my happiness or our happiness is decreasing. But some people who has no enough money, but they always be happy. And I think we shouldn't say this. The happiness depends on only income or revenue.
Right.
Truly, I don't think in it.
Yeah, for sure. Great. Exactly. Thank you, Harshit. I want to have Birol have a chance to talk now. Birol, what do you think are some things that control how happy or unhappy a country is? Some things different from money.
Firstly, happiness depends on good job. To have good job and good job. But I'm going to mention personal happiness. I think personal happiness depends on what experienced before. I think in the past, what you experienced, what you went through, it will determine the future happiness. For example, before life is before past, in the past, if you are very poor, then if you get a little money, you will be very happy. I mean, happiness is relative things. Depends on what you experienced in the past. I think something like that.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Birol, for personal happiness. Awesome. Good. Okay. Well, you guys, why don't we take a look at the next conversation here before the break a little bit. It's called Music Festival.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we start, here a music festival, they mean a concert. But usually these are a little bit different. A music festival is different than a concert, usually. A concert is, let's say, what's our favorite band? Maybe AC/DC or Queen, or one band, one group like this. Let's say Queen. I go to see Queen. I have my ticket. I watch them for 2.5 hours. It's finished. I go home. That's a concert, right? One ticket to see one band play one time. Or we could say Tarkan or whatever. To see one person playing. Usually a music festival. It's a big area, and you go inside, and there's many different bands playing all day. You go for a whole day. Sometimes it's 3 days. You can listen to many different people and walk around and see which ones you like. It's outside, like this. A music festival. But here they're just talking about a concert. So it's just one person, one band, one group performing. Okay. So music festival part 1. How about Hassan? You can be Joe, and Bilal, you can be Kristen. And we'll start with you guys.
Okay. Esther. So, what do you think of the festival tonight?
Oh, I thought it was great. I had a great time the entire day, actually.
Yeah, good. Good. Me too.
You know, I thought it was a great idea for us all to meet over at Tim's place. I mean, you and I were obviously running late because he lives out in the boonies. You know, better late than never.
Yeah, I agree. When you get a group of people together to go to an event like this, it just adds the enjoyments, the fun. And it's kind of like the saying, guys, the more, the merrier.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know, I think it was really important that we all went to concert together in one group. Because, you know, it was so large, it would have made it really difficult to find people in our group if we would have all gone separately.
Good. Okay. My first question. This concert. Okay, Kristen and Joe are talking. Okay. What time? When is the concert in relation to this conversation? Is the concert? Did it happen before now, or will it happen after now? What do you think, Bilal?
It must be before the time.
Okay.
It happened already.
You think like 1 day before or 2 days before?
Yeah, I think 1 or 2 days before.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's before, but how much before? What? Does anyone else have a guess?
Tonight.
Tonight, yeah. Tonight.
Tonight. Yeah, that's right. That's the trick. Exactly. So this concert happened the same night they're talking, but it's finished. And we see that in the first line. Joe says, "So what did you think of the festival tonight?" So what did you think of it? And it's tonight. So it's later the same night. It must be. Good. Joe says, "Oh, I thought it was great. I had a great time the entire day, actually." Yeah, good. Me too. Joe, I thought it was a great idea for us all to meet over at Tim's place. I mean, you and I were obviously running late because he lives out in the boonies. Okay. What does this mean, running late? How about Biro? What's the difference between I am late and I am running late?
Just running late. Maybe. I'm running late. Not exactly like about to late. Maybe.
About to be late. Good. I like that. Yeah. Like for example, I need to meet Birol at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. And right now it's 7:45 and I'm still having a shower. I'm not late right now, but I will be late. I'm too slow already. Yeah. So I'm running late. I can't make my schedule. Okay, so that's the difference when we say that. Good. Good job, Birol. Thank you. Because he lives out in the boonies. Okay, if anybody wants to try boonies, you can, but it's really complicated. So, does anyone want to try to tell me what boonies are?
I think it's a place where is small county.
Small county?
Yeah.
Okay, kind of, yeah. That's a good answer.
Not,
Christian. Yeah,
not
usually.
have, can I say, Jory?
Okay.
The area not have more facility. For example, store markets or restaurants. I think.
Yeah, kind of. Like, it's if I live in the middle of the city, like in Ankara, I live in Kizilay. Yeah, and you go out to the areas that are just, they're so far away, you know? Everything is very exciting in the center. There's many things happening. And yeah, like Yildiray said, there's many restaurants, there's many different stores. And you go further away and it's only houses. It's not so interesting, not so many things happening. So yeah, it usually means like away from everything, like that. The parts of the city that are away from everything. So yeah, the way that both of you described it could be correct. Yeah, just away from the interesting parts. Okay. And Joe says, but better late than never. Hassan, what does this mean? Better late than never.
I can come better than I cannot come.
Good. Yeah, exactly. I'm late, but it's still better than if I don't come at all. It's better to go late than not to go at all. Good. Kristen says, yeah, I agree. When you get a group of people together and go to an event like this, it just adds more enjoyment. You know, the fun. And it's kind of like the saying goes, the more the merrier. Okay. What does this mean? The more the merrier. Bilal?
Kind of same.
I think you mentioned about the people. If you have much more people, you will have much fun, or like that.
Good.
It's like the more people, more happy. Or
Good.
Kind of like.
Exactly.
Close.
Merry, we say Merry Christmas. I don't know if you've probably heard this, right? Merry can be like an old way of saying happy. And so still for the holiday Christmas, you don't say Happy Christmas, you say Merry Christmas.
Mm.
Yeah, so merry means happy. So the more people, the more happiness. Yeah. So exactly like Bilal was saying, if you have more people, you're gonna have more fun together. That's the saying. So Kristen here, she says, and it's kind of like the saying goes, the more the merrier. So she's saying, this is a famous saying in English, the more the merrier. And she's saying, oh, tonight, this expression was true. Right? It's like the saying goes. It happened true to the expression. There was more of us and it was more fun. Okay, that's what she means. And it's like the saying goes. She means the saying was true this time. Okay. Joe, yeah, I totally agree. And, you know, I think it was really important that we all went to the concert together in one group. Because, you know, it's so large, it would have made it really difficult to find people in our group if we would have all gone separately. So, Yildiray, what are the two reasons that it was good they went as a group? What are the two reasons it was good they all went together?
Hmm. I think a very different group together at that time. So very important to go to concerts.
No, okay. Birol, what do you think? What are the reasons it was good they went together?
The more the merrier, first reason.
Good.
Second reason, it would difficult to find each other if they would all gone. If they would gone separately, they can't find each other.
Good. Yeah, exactly. Birol's right. Because it's a concert and it's very loud and they can't really talk on their cell phones. And I think this conversation is old, before everybody had cell phones, but it's like we all go to I don't know, Taksim in Istanbul. It's easier if we all meet at a different place first and then go to Taksim. If we all go to Taksim and try to meet there, it's too big. There's so many people. We can't find each other. Like this. They all come to the concert and try to meet. They can't find each other. Too many people. It's too big. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Birol's exactly right. Good. I think it's a good time to take a break now.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you guys can just take a break for 10 minutes. Okay. Khurshid.
Jory,
Yeah.
if you a pro, we can talk about for next lesson, because I don't want take your time, and I think you should rest, and it is very good for me if I prepare some question, 3 or 2. I think it will be good for us.
Okay. Yeah, no problem,
But-
Hershey.
But thank you for this.
Yeah, no problem. And I can leave you my my email too, if you want to
Okay.
email me more questions. But
Yeah,
we can
thank-
talk next class too. No
yeah,
problem.
this is very good for me.
Okay, great. So yeah, enjoy your break. See you guys in 10 minutes.
Okay. See you.
Bilal, how are you?
Fine. Hi, John.
I think I haven't seen you for a little while.
Yeah, about I think to a tree lesson. I think I haven't
Yeah.
been. Yeah, really. I had a busy. I had some things to do at the time of the lesson. So since I was out, not in home, so I couldn't join the lesson.
No problem.
Yeah,
Very.
I was. Julia, I just want to ask. This is the question of for a long time. I want to ask. Yeah, you know, now we are talking and then we are speaking. We are talking about something and we speaking together. Just about the time. Yeah, you know, for example, now we're speaking and then we stop the speaking and then 2 or 3 or 4 days, then we don't do any activity like that. So we forget about what we talk, what we speak about, and then again we speak. This is in meantime the time. What do you suggest about what we improve our speaking skill?
Sorry, your computer was cutting out a little bit. Can you say it again?
Now we are speaking during the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
After the lesson, we don't do anything. Speaking skill, or what do you suggest? Since you don't give any homework like that, what do you suggest that we do the time that accept the lesson, the time of when we don't have the lesson during the weeks or the weekend or like that? What do you suggest we do to improve our speaking skill?
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can anything that you want to do is going to be great. You know, if you're watching more movies in English and maybe you know, trying not to focus so much on the subtitles, try to understand what they're saying in English first, or even try and watch without subtitles. Listening to music and reading some books would be good, like that. If you can find people to speak English with you, that would be the best. Let me think about that. I know there were programs with the universities in Turkey to have a partner, like someone who is trying to learn Turkish, and you can speak to them in English and they can speak to you in Turkish, and you guys can practice with each other. Something like that. Where else could you? I'm not sure. Let me think about that, Bilal. If I can come up with some.
Yeah, no. Do you know what I mean? Now you see, we have some topics, about something that conversation about something, and we learn that. But since we don't use this idioms or like that, and a time later that we will forget things that we already learned. So I just trying to find a solution, find a way that not forget this idiom or this new words that we have learned. I just want to find a way that this idiom is like that. So yeah, you know, so common that we don't so encounter in everywhere. We just see this idioms and this words just in this conversation that we do together. We speak together, and I just want to find a way that not forget this idiom or like that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, let me think about your question a little bit more, Bilal. Also, I can tell you.
Yeah, okay. This is just if you have some suggestions, I will be happy. Otherwise, this is not a problem.
Yeah, great. I'll try and think of some better suggestions about that, and maybe tell you on Wednesday. Also, you guys, if you want to talk to your classmates more to practice English as well, you guys can come on this website, I think, and speak together. Like you could say to Birol, maybe we can speak together in English, you know, tomorrow at 8 o'clock or something, and you can use this website to practice with each other if you want to do that. Also, but yeah, let me think about some suggestions, some more suggestions for you, Bilal.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
if you find, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll talk to you a bit about that on Wednesday. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. So the other guys aren't back yet. Here's something interesting. Technology, our technology keeps getting better and better, newer and newer technology. Do you think that this is right now? Right now, people are working 40 or 45 hours in a week is normal. Do you think new technology is making this, the amount we need to work, go down or go up? Bilal, I'll start with you. Do you think?
Sorry, sometimes that you cut your speaking, so I couldn't understand. The technology is
So as
we have
technology,
new and newer technology.
yeah, as technology gets better and better, are people working more and more, or are people working less and less because of new technology?
Yeah, we have some problem with the. Oh, your talking is cut.
You can't hear me. I see. Okay, sorry. Hershit, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you?
I can hear you good.
Yeah.
Bilal, you can you hear me good? now?
Now it's okay.
Okay.
Please,
Yeah.
yeah.
Here's my question. Technology is getting better and better. We're getting more and more technology. Does this make people work more and more hours, or do people work less and less hours with new technology? Do we have to work more or less?
Yeah, this is a really difficult question. Yeah, you know, the technology make our sure. We can say this. The technology, as technology improve and getting better, so it help us doing our work more easier.
Right.
But the time of the working, I think not is not so much changing. Yeah, you know, as we look as the work that we do. But for the labor, yeah, you know, for the work that the working class that work with hands, this is as we said, blue collar working is maybe we work less, but for us that the office work, the people who the working time is not as I know, because I'm working for 20 years, and 20 years ago I worked between 5 and then the 8 o'clock, and then, but the work that I did, the total work that I did for the much more work I can do, but I'm working in the same hours. It's not too much changes, but for the you know, for the class maybe change, maybe less. They want less work.
Okay, good. Thank you, Bilal. I'm sorry, I've had a bit of connection problems with you as well, but thank you for that. Biro, what do you think about this? As technology is increasing, are people working more and more, or are people working less and less with newer technology?
I think it's people works same time, but the ways of working type getting different. I think yeah, ways of working is changing increasingly, but I think time is same. Time is same.
Okay.
Yes. Mhm.
Thank you, Biro. Hershit, what do you think?
Truly, I have studied especially these topics, and I have known very well, and I think I can say something about this.
Okay.
Firstly, if technology getting our lives, especially in production, the worker go out in production. We know that it is theoretically true, and we know that especially in employment, it is a different form. It is white man or blue man. Is it true?
Oh, white collar.
White color. Yeah. We know that in production nowadays there are a different type, especially two type. One is white collar man, another is blue collar man, and we know that blue collar man is still employment in factory, and I think that there isn't a problem for in production for employment, but white collar man has still a problem for employment, and we know that in production day and day, white collar is gone out of production, and we know that too. That is for technology.
Okay.
I think that's okay.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Hershit. So what I read is that you look at people maybe 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, when we don't have cities, when we're just hunting animals. We call them cavemen in English, or early humans. They only worked for 20 hours in 1 week. They're going out there hunting animals, they get food, they get water, they build shelter, everything is done. Only 20 hours in 1 week. And now we need to work 40 hours in 1 week. So it's much more than these very early primitive people. Why do you think that is? Why are we working twice as much as they were working, 20,000 years ago? What do you think, Biro?
Why? I want to think about it.
Okay, I've been thinking about this a lot. I always sit on the train and I think, why? Bilal, do you have any opinion?
You mean that this primitive people that I think they just for the life, the things they need, only they hunt and then feed themselves, and nothing else, I think. And to feed themselves and to hunt, I think the 20 or the some simple tool like that to reach the simple and then to provide the simple tools. Really, they didn't work too much hours, but during the industrial revolution of the Europe, the people had to work about 16 hours for a day, and so they make this revolution of the French Revolution, like that, for this the working hours. Change it when the industry and technology is improved. People have to work much more, because then the things that you can reach, you can take, become also more. You need to have a car, and then you need to go to the cinema or like that, because the things that you can reach is become more complex and much more. So for reaching these things, you have to work much more. For our time, in our time also, the technology improved, but the personnel or the people who do this work also become less, and so you need also to work much more. You do the much more work, and then in my the work that myself I do, that we just inspect the construction works, and then we make some calculation for this works, and then before technology was little bit the earlier technology, really we have to work to make this calculation. We have to spend for 1 week, but now 1 or 2 hours we can do this calculation. But the number of the people who work in same work that we have, if we say the 10 people do this job, but now 1 or 2 people do this job. So I think the working, the work that we do with technology get easier, but working hours get more. And as technology is what we say, the people, the necessity of the people when become more, and then a lot of things that people necessary to provide, so they have to work more for reach this technology. So I can say this.
Great, very good, perfect, awesome, good job, Bilal. Thank you. Hurshit, what do you think? Why are we working twice as much as these primitive?
Firstly, we know that in capitalist system, we have always worked for another people. For example, rich people or capital people. All of us, we know, work always another people, and they want us to getting more profit. If they are no profit, you get out of they get out of us for working. We know that it is true. And before capitalist system, there is a barter system. There was a barter system in the world, and people lived in barter system. They worked for only themselves or ourselves. If they need something, they use barter system, and they only used a one or two, or produce 1 or 2 things. But now we live for consumption. and if we continue for consumption economy, I think we will have to for many hours than before people.
Great, awesome, very good. Thank you, Hurshit. Interesting. Yeah, I like what you added about the, you're working for another person who is also taking your profit.
But in barter system, who lived, people lived in barter system, always worked for themselves, not another person.
Right.
If they wanted a thing or anything, they worked for only a thing.
Great, good. Thank you, Hurshit. Awesome. Okay, Yildiray, so the question is, when we look at people a long time ago, 20,000 years ago, they're hunting animals, they're collecting food, they're getting water, they're making their houses, they're making shelter, making clothes. Everything is finished in 20 hours in a week. They only work 20 hours in 1 week. Now people work 40 hours a week, 45 hours a week. Why do we need to work so much more with new technology than these people before with no technology? Why do people work so much more now?
I think we compare at now with past time. Earth population is more than the past, and source is much smaller the past, and consume and the life is very expensive. So we have to work much more the past, I think, and at now it is not very related earning money for work. Yani it is not life balance. When you work hard working, maybe you can't earn much more money. I think. Only I can say these words.
Perfect. Yes, thank you, Yildiray. Great. Okay, Birol, now it's your turn. What do you think?
In the past, Kerman works little because he do something, for example, hunting for themselves, only their families main needs. Today we also can live something like that. We can go to the village and take a small area, a small house. We can live there only have main needs, but after technology, the expectation of the humans is getting bigger. So there is a lot of things to do. For example, go to cinema, feature, or go to holiday. Is there is a lot of things now to do, and so if we want to do these things, we have to study much before than before.
Great. Great, thank you. Awesome, Biro. Exactly, yeah. Like I say, when I heard this, it was really surprising to me. So I was always thinking about it for a while on the train and things. And yeah, I think you guys are all right. You know, if I worked 20 hours a week, I could probably get food and I could get water and I could sleep somewhere. But, you know, I can't get an iPhone. I can't get a motorcycle. Exactly.
Yes.
I can't get Nike shoes. It's more and more things people want, right? Okay, cool. Well, why don't we look at the conversation again? I time to get back to it. And we're starting with Kristen, right? I mean, so last time I had, who just read? Hassan read and Bilal, right?
Yeah.
First time. Okay, so Bilal, you can be Kristen, and Yildira, you can be Joe.
Okay.
Right. I mean,
It actually surprised me because that the crowd was so large. I mean, the tickets cost an arm and a leg, so I was kind of thinking that maybe the crowd wouldn't be as big.
yeah, but price doesn't usually deter you from going to hear music, right? Music, right?
No, it's true. You're right.
But speaking of us staying together, it just was making me think of the crowd, and I just didn't think that in general the festival was laid out that well.
Well, there were 4 different stages.
No, there were 6.
Oh, there were 6 stages.
Yeah,
See, we only went 2 of them,
I know.
but the stages were kind of far apart. And you know what the most impractical design was? I thought that they had very narrow walkways between stages.
Good. Stop there. Okay, Kristen, right? I mean, and then Joe says it actually surprised me because that the crowd was so large. What does this mean? The crowd was so large. Yildiray, what does that mean? The crowd was so large.
Very, very crowded. A lot of people.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Good. Yeah, we know a crowd is a big group of people. Yeah, so a large crowd is a large group of people. Good. I mean, the tickets cost an arm and a leg. Shit, what does this mean? Cost an arm and a leg. What do you think?
Actually, I don't know, but I understand. I understand from this. He want to mean there was a very crowded
Yeah, he said the crowd was big. Then he says the tickets cost an arm and a leg. So this is an idiom, cost an arm and a leg.
I think it is an idiom, but I don't explain very well.
Okay, does anyone, how about Bilal, what do you think?
Yeah, it costs. Yeah, it costs some money, but it costs an arm and leg. I think it costs too much money.
Good,
It's too much
exactly.
money. It's very expensive. Yeah, it's very expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. You don't want to give away your arm and your leg for something that's that's too much, right? That's very expensive. Yeah. Good. So yeah, here the idiom, kind of the joke is, it's like I had to pay with my parts of my body. It's so expensive. Mhm. And then Joe says, so I was kind of thinking that maybe the crowd wouldn't be as big. So here, the whole thing, what Joe is saying is, he was surprised that there was so many people there, because the tickets were very expensive. So he thought, oh, there probably wouldn't be that many people who would buy these expensive tickets. Good. And sorry, I see this is actually the type of music festival I was talking about earlier. It's not just one group. It's many groups are performing there, probably like all day. Okay. Kristen says, yeah, but price doesn't usually deter you from going to hear music. So what is this word deter? Price doesn't deter you. Birol?
Deter you. Price doesn't usually deter you. I mean, tickets. Whatever expensive tickets is, you also want to go to hear music. I know that, but I can't explain now.
Right. Yeah, a deter is something to try and make you not do it. It's a little bit complicated. For example, on the metro here in my city, you have to pay like 150 liras. You can't eat on the metro train. You can't eat food, and if they catch you eating food, the punishment is like 150 liras. So that's a deterrent. They have this rule to try and make people not eat on the plane, eat on the train. So it's something to try and make you not do it. Okay. If I'm a farmer and I have corn, sometimes they put a person out in the field, a fake person made of sticks, right? This is called a scarecrow, the fake person in the field of plants. And it's to scare the birds away. So this fake person is deterring the birds from eating the food. The birds think it's a real person. They're scared, they don't eat the food. So that's deter as well, to try and make them not do it. Okay, good. Joe says, no, it's true, you're right. Kristen, but speaking of us staying together, it just was making me think of the crowds. And I just didn't think that in general, the festival was laid out that well. What does this mean, was laid out that well? What's the problem with the festival? What does Kristen not like about it when she says it wasn't laid out well? How about Yildiray?
I can only guess.
Mm-hmm.
Laid out meanings of maybe festival organized. Laid out means
Organized.
Organized, yes.
Yeah. Laid out, it means like physically organized. So it's not when they say, oh, this person is coming on at this time, how do we organize it? No, it means like where I'm putting things. So how do you organize your house? Oh, you put the television here, you put the sofa here, you put the other chair there. You know, physically, where do I put everything? That's the problem. She doesn't like the way they placed everything, the way where they put the different stages. Good. And Joe says, well, there were 4 different stages. Kristen, no, there were 6. Oh, there were 6 stages? Yeah. So a stage is the place where the musicians perform. It's the place where the band plays the music. So there's 6 different ones. So there could be 6 different bands playing at one time. So that's the difference between a music festival and a concert. Here you can have many bands performing, you know, in different places at the same time. And there will be different bands playing all day. So yeah. Kristen says, yeah. Joe says, see, we only went to 2 of them. Kristen, I know. Joe, but the stages were kind of far apart. And you know what the most impractical design was? Okay, so the stages are too far apart. You have to walk too far from one to another. That's what Joe thinks is bad. And the impractical design. So what does this mean, impractical? How about Harshit? Could you describe impractical?
I think it is opposite of practical and not practical.
Yeah, good. What is practical?
Practical, it is suitable.
Suitable. Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
I would say even like easy to use.
Maybe it is used for easy for making or doing something.
Good, yeah, if
Easy.
something's practical, it makes it easy. Yeah, it's a good design, easy to use. Exactly. Good, okay. So the most impractical design was, I thought that they had very narrow walkways between the stages. So the places for people to walk were too thin. They should have had wider roads, you know, for people to walk. That's what Joe thinks is the biggest problem. People don't have enough room to walk. Kristen says yes. Joe and okay, and that's where we stopped. Sorry. Okay, so that was Birol and Yildiray. So Harshit, you can be Kristen now. Oh no, you can be Joe now, and Bilal, you can be Kristen now.
I am Joe.
Yeah, you be Joe.
Okay. Now I am starting. And sometimes you had to go through a little tunnel, like a food tunnel.
Yep.
And there would be thousands of people trying to go through a space that only maybe 20 people could go through at a time.
Oh yeah, the crowd would get completely bottlenecked.
Yeah, exactly. So trying to go from one stage to next was just it took a lot of time and effort.
Yeah, I agree.
So that was one thing that was, just not properly planned for on their part.
No, and then there'd be all this random trace through the woods that people were trying to forge their way through.
Yeah, true. Another thing that was a real hassle was trying to get a beer.
Oh my God, yeah.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's stop there. Kristen, yes. Joe, and sometimes you had to go through a little tunnel, like a foot tunnel. So I think we know what a tunnel is, right? It's like a hole through the mountain where a road goes through. And yeah, so they have the ground gets really high somewhere and they have to go through this hole. And that's the problem. So it's a foot tunnel. Ooh, okay, this is a good question. What does that mean, a foot tunnel? Why did they say foot here? What does it mean? How about, I think it's Bilal, your turn.
The foot tunnel means that it is not car tunnel, but not the tunnel for the car, but for the by walkway. Yeah, work. Sure, this is the foot tunnel.
Good. Yeah, exactly. When we see foot like this as an adjective, it usually means walking. Yeah, exactly. Like not for cars. Exactly. A footpath, a path for walking. Okay, Kristen says, yep. Joe, and there'd be thousands of people trying to go through a space that only maybe 20 people could go through at a time. Kristen says, oh yeah, the crowd would get completely bottlenecked. Okay, so what does bottlenecked mean? Biro, what do you think?
Bottleneck. Bottleneck is very narrow. Very narrow.
Good. Yeah, exactly. I have like the wide area, and then all of a sudden it gets very narrow. So this is making everything so slow. People can walk nicely through this area, and then this is too small, and everybody's stuck here. There's a big crowd here trying to walk through the small area. That's called a bottleneck. Right? It makes everything go too slowly because it got too narrow. Exactly. Just like that part of the bottle, the top of the bottle, is called the neck. The neck of the bottle. So that's called the bottleneck too. But here, bottleneck is a verb. It means that happens. It goes from big to small. So yeah, exactly. So trying to go from one stage to the next was just, it took a lot of time and effort. Kristen, yeah, I agree. Joe, so that was one thing that was, just not properly planned for on their part. Kristen, no. And then there'd be all those random trails through the woods that people were trying to forge their way through. What does this mean? Forge their way. Yildiray, if I forge my way, what am I doing? What do you think?
Forge their way.
It is a random tree.
Forge their way. Push, maybe. Walking in crowds. Push the people, I think.
Okay, but these are
Right.
trails. They're trails in the woods, right? In the forest.
Forge, push the crowds out. Maybe.
Okay. Not exactly, because this is in the forest now, right? These are trails in the forest. So what do you think? Does anyone else want to guess? Guro?
Force their way through to take a route to have a route.
Good. Okay. Yeah, like they have these the real trails, the proper roads the people are supposed to walk on, but they're too slow. There's too many people. So some people are trying to make their own trail in the forest. I'm going to try and find my own trail through the forest because this is too slow. So I'm forging my own trail. I'm making my own path. Like that. Yeah, a forge is also the name of an old, like a machine for making swords. The big oven that I would make a sword in, or working with metal, like 1,000 years ago. That's a forge. Okay. Joe says, yeah, true. Oh, I lost it. You know, another thing that was a real hassle was trying to get a beer. Okay. So what does this mean? It was a real hassle. What's a hassle, Hershit?
I think it's a real hassle is same as with argument or tough thing.
It can be like he caused a hassle. Yeah, that's true. That's not what it means here. But that's another meaning of it. Exactly.
Truly, I only for this. It is a I don't tell. I think it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Does anyone else want to try hassle in this sentence? Bilal, what do you think it is?
I think this kind of fight for reach something, to take something, is kind of fight and
Yeah, it can be an argument. Here it was a hassle. When we say it was a hassle, it is a hassle. That means it is not easy. It's difficult. It's a big problem, right? To do it.
like a stress.
It was a real.
Yeah.
It was like too difficult. You know, I go to a store and I want to buy shoes, and they say, "Oh, okay. First, you have to go in the first floor, and you have to take a number card, and then you go up to the third floor and you put your number card in the machine, and the machine will give you a ticket, and then you come to the second floor, and you give us the ticket, and we'll give you the shoes." And you go downstairs and you pay money for the shoes and then you're done. Like, that's too difficult. Why do I have to do so many things to buy shoes? It's a hassle. Right? They make it's too difficult. It's more difficult than it should be. It's not easy. But yeah, you guys were all right. If we use it as a verb, like I hassle someone, I'm making problems with them. I'm arguing. I'm making problems with the person. I'm hassling them. I'm giving you trouble. Okay, but here, if it was a hassle, it usually means that. It was too difficult. Okay, then Kristen, oh my God, yeah, and that's where we stopped. Okay, good. So who was just reading? That was Hershit and Bilal. So Birol and Yildiray. Birol, your show this time. And Yildiray is Kristen. So we'll start with Birol.
Where we are?
You start. I mean the wait,
I
the
am
line.
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And oh, oh, there is thousands of people trying to go out a space that only maybe 20 people go through at a time.
Okay, yeah, down, down, down from there.
So,
You say, I mean, the weight the line was.
mm,
1, 2, 3, 4 down. 4 down from where you were. For Joe.
for Joe.
Yeah, count Joe. 1,
I
2.
confuse. I confuse. Uh,
So eight total or 4 Joes? 4 Joes and 4 Chris.
Joey, what's beginning of sentences?
I mean, the weight. The line was like, you know.
Mm, mm.
Why don't we'll do you the next time.
Yes.
Yildiray, Hershit, you can be Joe, and Yildiray, you can be Kristen.
Okay, now I am starting.
Mhm.
I mean, the weight, the line was like, 120 people long. Every time you wanted to go get a beer.
Yeah, well, first you had to stand in line just for them to check your ID and get the wristband.
Yeah, and?
That was bad enough.
Oh, that was an even longer line.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I mean, once you had the wristband, so then it was battling the lines just to get a beer. Each time, yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and if you wanted to go get a beer while the band was playing, you basically had to decide whether you wanted to see the music
Yeah,
or you really wanted a beer, which was more important to you.
right?
You had to make a choice, you know?
Good. Okay. So, I mean, the weight, the line was like, 120 people long each time you wanted to go get a beer. Good. So this is why it's a hassle. This is why getting a beer is too difficult, because you have to wait for like 120 people in front of you to buy a beer first. So it's a very crazy long line just to buy a beer. So that's why it's a hassle. That's why it's so difficult.
And
Right.
I think Joe see it for a problem.
Yeah, exactly. And Kristen says, yeah, well, first you had to stand in line for them to check your ID and get the wristband. Okay, what is ID? Biro, what is ID?
Identity cards.
Good, yeah, identity cards. ID stands for identification. Exactly. So some identity card. Okay, why do they need ID? Yildiray?
What's your question?
Why do they need to show ID?
Uh, when when you go to concerts, you have to show the personal your ID cards.
Because they're at a concert?
Sorry. When you buy, you want to buy beer, you have to show your ID cards.
Good. Why?
I guess uh, He checked your oaths.
Good, exactly. Yeah. In the United States you need to be 21 years old to buy beer. So they want to check and make sure the age is okay. Good. And they get the wristband. So it seems like at this concert, you need to get a wristband as a token to buy alcohol, to show that you can buy it. So Joe, yeah, and Kristen, that was bad enough. Joe, oh, that was an even longer line. Kristen, yeah. Joe, yeah. I mean, once you had the wristband though, then it was battling the lines just to get a beer each time. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So what does she mean? It was battling the lines. How about Hershit?
Really, I don't know, and I don't explain now what it means.
Bilal, what do you think?
I think this is again to fight to reach the beer, like a battle. You know, battle is like the fighting and the war, and to reach the beer, you have to fight again.
Good, yeah, exactly. It's like a fight, but she just means you're in the lines so much it feels like you're fighting with them all day, like they're her enemy, like she's angry with the lines. She just means she's standing in many lines, standing in the lines too much. Okay, I think it sounds like at this concert you buy the wristband, and that's one thing you do at the start, and then every time you wait in the line, and with the wristband you can get as many beers as you want. You only pay one time. I think that's how this music festival works. Okay, Joe, yeah, and if you wanted to go get a beer while the band was playing, you basically had to decide whether you wanted to see the music, yep, or you really wanted a beer, which was more important to you. Okay, so the lines are so long for the beer that you miss too much music if you go to get a beer. That's what he's saying. Kristen says, right. Joe, you had to make a choice, you know? Okay. Birol, are you good now? Do you know where we are?
I am tired.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm a little bit tired.
Can you read for us now? Do you know where we are in the story?
Later.
Where Kristen starts? Yeah, make a list of pros and cons. Do you see that part?
No, I am tired. I confused.
You're confused? Okay. All right, so Bilal, why don't you read as Joe and, or sorry, you read as Kristen, and Yildiray, you can read as Joe this time.
Okay. Make a list of pros and cons.
Yeah. How thirsty am I versus how much do I want to hear this music? And the lines to the bathroom were really long also.
Yeah, the lines in general were just a hassle.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we were leaving the events, it took us over an hour just to get out the stadium.
Oh God.
Remember, there were all these people who were starting to climb the fences.
Yeah.
Instead of going through the little tunnel, I mean,
Yes.
and the fence, it looked like it was gonna break. I mean, it was totally an accident waiting to happen.
Good.
Right.
Why don't we stop there? Okay. At the top, Kristen says, yeah, make a list of pros and cons. What are pros and cons? Harshit, do you know?
I don't know, actually. I don't know.
No? Okay. Biro, do you know pros and cons?
No, I don't know.
No? Okay. Yildiray, do you know?
I think pros and cons, the points of good or bad.
Good, yeah.
Wait. Yes,
When I'm thinking about the good things or the bad things in a decision, the good things are the pros and the bad things are the cons.
yes.
Okay. So, and we often talk about making a list of pros and cons. You'll see it's usually a list when we talk about pros and cons. So for example, I want to move from, I want to move to Kizilay in Ankara, in the very center, okay? The pros, it's very close to many restaurants, very close to many things, lots of things to do there. Maybe it's easy to get to work. The cons, the bad things, it's more noisy, more expensive, more traffic, more busy, right? So I think, what are the good things? What are the bad things, right? The good things are called pros, the bad things are called cons, just like that. Okay. Joe says, yeah. How thirsty am I versus how much do I want to hear this music? So, yeah, this is what he has to think about. Which is more important? Is he very thirsty? Does he really like the music? Pros and cons, right? And the lines to the bathroom are really long also. Kristen, yeah. The lines in general were just a hassle. I have to agree. Joe, yeah. I mean, I remember when we were leaving the event, it took us over an hour just to get out of the stadium. So a stadium is usually a big place for sports events, like where they play soccer or football, a big area like that. It's called the stadium. Okay, Kristen, oh God, Joe, remember there were all those people who were starting to climb the fences. Kristen, yeah. So Bilal, why are people climbing the fences?
Yeah, because they want to find the shorter way to go out. So the fences, so they climb over the fences.
Good, exactly. They just want to leave. They're not trying to get in for free.
Yeah.
They just want to go home quickly because the lines are so long that they're getting very unhappy. They're waiting too much. So they're climbing the fences. Good. Kristen, yeah. And Joe says, instead of going through the little tunnel, so climbing the fences instead of going through the tunnel. They don't want to go through the tunnel. It's too slow. Kristen, yeah. Joe, and the fence, it looked like it was going to break. It was totally an accident waiting to happen. So what does this mean, an accident waiting to happen? How about Biro? What do you think?
Accident is coming. Accident is near.
Good, yeah, I would say exactly. It looks like it's very easy for it to be a big accident, a big problem. So yeah, just like it's very dangerous. Okay, that's good. Let's see. I think maybe we will just we'll save the rest of this for Wednesday. We can just finish off the end here, and
Okay.
and we'll start part 2 as well on Wednesday? I think we're good. We're good for tonight. Birol is tired, so
Yeah, I can read now. I catch it.
oh, you got it now? Okay. Oh, no problem. I think we'll call it a night for today, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Are there any questions now about what we read today, though, before we go?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, no problem. If you didn't understand something we were going too quickly, you can always ask me.
I just want to ask, sorry, Jerry,
Yeah.
In one line, the Christian says, speaking of us staying together. The grammatically, really, I had difficulty with this. Speaking of us staying together. What does it mean?
All right. Earlier in the conversation, they were talking about why it was important for them to come as a group.
Yeah.
And why it was important to stay in their group. They didn't really say that it was important to stay, but they said if they met there separately, it would be hard to find each other. So it was important for them not just to come together, but to stay as a group, or they might not find each other again. So she says, okay, here I found it. But speaking of us staying together, it was making me think of the crowds. Okay, so she's kind of explaining how she's thinking, you know? What we were talking about is staying as a group. And a group of people, a very big group of people, that's a crowd. She's kind of saying this to say, I'm not changing the subject, you know? We were talking about this, it made me think of this, right?
Okay, just about the
no
subject
problem.
of before.
Yeah, she's tying the new subject to the one before. Exactly.
Yeah.
No problem. Good. Anything else?
No, thank you.
No.
Okay.
Thank
worries.
you. See you Wednesday.
See you guys Wednesday. Have a good night.
See you.
But Jory, can I take your email address?
Yeah, I will. If you look at the message board on Cineset, you know where you find the link every day?
Jory,
Yeah.
I understand for your saying. I have to meet in Cineset.
Yeah.
And then they give me your email address.
No. Go to speaking.cinesetonline.com. Go to the website.
Yeah.
Okay. And open this course. Open our course, C1 Advanced.
Yeah.
Okay. And now look at the messages.
Okay. Yeah.
You see, I just wrote my email there.
Yeah. GRHAGEN at
You, Alberta?
LBERTA and CA.
Yeah, exactly. That's my email.
Okay. I see, and I will connect with this mail address.
Okay, good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem. Appreciate it. Have a nice night.
Yeah, have a nice night too. See you later.
See you.
Bye-bye.